I want to thank my game supporter OD Chatfield for bringing this video. Thank you very much for the month's support. OD Chatfield, you've been supporting me since the get-go, and it really helps a lot. Again, thank you everyone for bearing with us through this tricky time going through Christmas visa and stuff. I know videos aren't coming frequently, and I know that streams aren't as frequent as they should be. I really thank everyone who stuck with support on GameWisp. It's helped us out so much. I really can't thank you guys enough. So thank you OD Chatfield for being fucking awesome. Thank you everyone who watches this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and eventually, within a week, everything should hopefully be all settled down and stuff, and we'll be back to making regular content. So thank you for sticking with us. It really means a lot. So thank you very much. Thanks once again, OD Chatfield. Let's get into this video, and I hope you guys really enjoy this one. Something spooky.
Hi guys, it's Minx here, hope you're doing well. This is Sound of Drop, Fall into Poison. As you may have guessed, I'm in a bit of a weeby mood lately, judging by some of the content that's been cropping up on the channel. And today I thought we'd play this. It's a visual novel, but heavy on choices, and it has many different endings. Think of sort of 999, Virtue's Last Reward, that kind of thing. Many endings, and it's incredibly dark and incredibly fucked up apparently as well. So let's see what happens here. I'm gonna probably play for an hour, see what you guys think, and if you like it, we'll do more. And that's the plan. Let's check it out. Got an achievement already? Holy shit, this is amazing. Before she realized it, the girl was standing before an imposing door. The girl occasionally came to Mantine Aquarium alone. She watched the manta rays, she watched the jellyfish, and finally she decided it was time to go home. Where is this? She had her doubts, but there should be nothing else there except for the aquarium. She assured herself she had probably wandered off onto a side path. The door had a large padlock hanging from it. Just as she had heard, it was unlocked and merely dangling there. The girl drew in a breath. Being locked would usually mean that it was a place she shouldn't enter. Being open just meant that a staff member had forgotten to lock it, so going in was out of the question. Her curiosity piqued, she was past the point of persuasion, her imagination ran wild and her mind raced at the prospect of what might lie beyond the door. Just for a little bit. She opened the door and saw lots of glass tanks. Several types of fish, hailing from the deep seas, from football fish and oarfish to pelican eels and barrel eyes, were swimming about. Why isn't this an exhibit? She thought it over, wondering why this would be closed off area behind her, the door shut on its own. The girl spaced out, staring at the deep sea fish swimming about. They would leap from the tank and swim in midair. The entirety of the room was the fish in their ocean. Through it was an unnatural occurrence. The girl treated it as quite normal. Huh. Wasn't there originally a deep sea fish booth that was shut down? She suddenly remembered. At that moment her surroundings were dyed a deep red. The water in the tanks, the fluorescent lights, all of it was red. The girl's vision also became red. When she opened her eyes, the girl was back in her own room. It was well into the night. She couldn't remember how she'd gotten home after all of that. But more importantly, she had a bad feeling about something else. It isn't red here. She became aware of how hard it suddenly was to breathe. No matter how hard she gasped, she was unable to get oxygen into her body. Like the fish who couldn't breathe anywhere but in the water, she couldn't breathe unless she was inside that red colour. She was convinced. On impulse, she threw open the window, leaned out and thrust a hand outside. She couldn't inhale the wind flooding her room. She could only smell its milky, unpleasant scent. More. That moment, the girl's body was tossed into the air. For just a second, her body seemed to float, like a fish in the sea. Her room was on the 12th floor of the apartment building. In her fading consciousness, the girl watched the blood flow endlessly from her body. It's red. Only then could she breathe. Now everything would be fine. The girl smiled. The full moon in the night sky smiled too. That was an interesting little opening, wasn't it? I like it. Very interesting. This is going to be really fucked, but I'm so excited because I want something fucked. The sound of falling drops. The moon was concealed behind the clouds, and all the lights in the town were covered in water. The sound of it, the only thing left to resonate. She couldn't tell whether it was hot or cold, merely that the humid air was encircling her. Wherever they were falling to, wherever they were coming from, the drops just continued to trickle out. That single drop. I stopped it with both hands. The sound of that solitary red drop. Right. Intriguing little intro. Looks like it's just a normal day at school though, right guys? Hi, how are you? Or at least there's an urban legend that goes like that. So hang on. Is this Mayumi? Talking about Mountain Aquarium again? That's your new thing, isn't it? While stuffing her lunch into her mouth, Tamagawa Himeno spoke, her eyes sparkling. I had no idea which point in the story got her so excited. That's right! Isn't this the scariest part? That the girl jumped to her death smiling after coming back from Mountain Aquarium? It's pretty bad. You don't seem the least bit scared, Himeno. It's not true. I've got chills running down my spine. Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. Did you just fucking boop hit me? Did you just fucking boop slap me? Excuse me? Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. And hey, that's my meatball. During a break in the conversation, Himeno stole a side dish from my box lunch. I was reading the wrong lines again. That's great. This mincemeat from the growing cows and little piglets. It's the best. Why do you have to put it like that? Jeez, why'd you have to make me lose my appetite? I'll give you the rest of it. Alright, I'll take it. And another boot. Oh my god, bitch. Don't you fucking interfere with my personal space again. Himeno takes the rest of the meatballs from my lunch with amazing rhythm. The reason that I, Nakanobi and Mayumi, lost my appetite wasn't because of Himeno's story scared me. Mountain Aquarium and I are connected in a way that I'd rather not think about. Of course, Himeno has no idea about that connection. If she knew, she'd never mention Mountain Aquarium around me again. At the same time, I've been afraid that this thing might cause Himeno to stop talking to me. Himeno is pretty much my only friend. It isn't that I haven't talked to anyone since entering junior high, just that the only person I can actually call a friend is Himeno. Seriously, I think the whole Mountain Aquarium rumor obsession is getting a bit much. I need to get the voices right. Let's do that line again. Seriously, I think this whole Mountain Aquarium and rumor obsession is getting a bit much. I even got an achievement for zooming back there, something to confirm. Maybe. There's more rumors though. Like there's a man's ghost in the tanks, the deep sea fish booth is only open on a full moon, that the water changes into blood, or that you can hear crying from behind the tanks. How that earlier one goes with this one also. No, that's fine. You don't need to say anymore. I say firmly, causing Himeno to make a sour face. That is not a sour face. Soon after, Himeno changes the subject, first to a TV drama that aired the night before, then to some cute fake nails with cats on that she found in a magazine. She then talks about a classmate who's dating a boy from a nearby private school, alighting on one subject before quickly changing to the next. Normally the subject of Mountain Aquarium shouldn't have popped up again. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about earlier. What exactly are we getting back to? Mountain Aquarium! I looked into it, and this Sunday will be a full moon. Huh? This seems like a really bad idea. That was all I could say. The rest of my words unable to come out. So we should go and see if the rumors are true or not. But... I know you aren't interested in stuff like urban legends, Mayu, but next week we'll start preparing for the end of the semester and I won't be able to hang out with you. Lately, we haven't gone anywhere together, have we? It's the full moon next Sunday. I'm sure Himeno wouldn't have said anything, but I suspect because it happens to be this Sunday, and next week happens to be our exams, she's chosen Mountain Aquarium. I know that I'm not hiding my confusion or my hesitation very well. Even so, Himeno turns her carefree grin my way. Since it's an aquarium, even if the rumors aren't true, we can still have fun, right? Well, that's true. Usually anywhere I go with Himeno, I have fun. Whether or not we'd have fun or not was not what I was worried about. By the way, Mayu, in the existing building of Mountain Aquarium, they have a Häagen-Dazs. What the fuck is that? Häagen-Dazs? Is that like an ice... We have a brand of ice cream here called Häagen-Dazs? Pretty sure it's not that, though. Oh, it's a restaurant. As in the Eaton restaurant? They had closed up at one point, but looks like they're reopening for a limited time. Really? Really? They have cookies and cream flavor you like too. Hang on, no, so it is an ice cream restaurant. Here it's just like a brand. You wouldn't get like a restaurant that's like, hey, we just do ice cream. But I guess maybe in Japan you do. Of course I hesitate, but in the end that settles it. Then we'll go. As long as we definitely get some cookies and cream. Saying you have no money because you did too much shopping is out of the question. I know, after all, I'm something of a glutton myself. Fine, fine. In the end, we settle on Mountain Aquarium and ice cream for Sunday. Since I've already received my reward money for moving on to the next grade, I don't need to worry about my allowance. Still, it's been 5 years. That was an abrupt moment there. Did you, say something, Mayu? No, nothing. I bite my tongue, covering the words that have carelessly spilled out. I'm looking forward to the aquarium. It's probably been about 10 years? I'm looking forward to the cookies and cream. It's probably been about 10 years. That's not true. It's the truth. That's the only thing I'll eat there. Himeno goes, you little, as she playfully stretches my cheeks. Oh my god, how animu! The end of lunch chime sounds and Himeno goes back to her own seat. If it's with Himeno, I'll be fine. That's what I told myself at the time. This is interesting. It has a budget, clearly, this game. They have another game as well that looks pretty interesting. That's like a Yuri drama with like very dark stuff as well, from what I can tell. Which, if you guys like this, maybe we'll look at that too. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see what happens to these chicks first. Sunday is 3 days after that. The day I promised to go with Himeno to Mountain Aquarium has arrived. We are to meet at noon at the Mantencho station. As is customary for me, I arrive 30 minutes early. That is me, by the way. If I have to be anywhere, I'm always there early, because if you're late, it's shit. Leaning against the pillar, I do nothing but space out. Tons of people pass before me. Mountain is really crowded on days off. Even so, there aren't really that many families or groups of students. Everyone around me is appearing to be adults. Because of that, I quickly begin to feel uneasy. Why's that? I mean, I guess she's just... I don't know how old she's meant to be. Hasn't said so far. Maybe she's like... I don't know. I have no idea. 14, 15, 16, something like that. Within this crowd, I'm alone. Inexplicably, my head begins to hurt. I wonder if Himeno will be here soon. I mutter to myself and look at my shoes. Deep blue sandal boots. They were this year's newest product. When Mum and I had stopped off at a department store on Saturday, she bought them for me after some coaxing on my part. They were far from what you call high quality, but they were still a bit pricey on a junior high schooler's allowance, so I guess she's like 13, 14 maybe? I'm not usually the type to beg, but I couldn't take my eyes off these boots. My mum bought them with me almost no resistance, saying, "You're going out of town, so you need to look your best." That was my mum voice. I know my voice is probably a mum voice to some of you, but generally speaking, that's my mum voice. I like both their form and their colour, and found them a better fit for the summer season than anything else. I take my cell phone out and check the time. There's still 15 minutes to go until we're to meet. Since Himeno is always 3 minutes late than the time we establish, I've got about another 20 minutes. I finished reading my paperback on the train, so I've nothing to kill time with. A whole 15 minutes, what the fuck are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? There is nothing I can do about it, so I decide to keep myself from boredom by watching people passing by. If I don't keep myself distracted, horrible thoughts will revive in my mind. I'm always worrying about what will happen if I'm late, though. I mean, that is me. Me, you and me. Congratulations. It had actually been about a month and a half since Himeno and I had gone out. We always talked at school, but rarely spent time together afterwards. Anyone who saw us probably thought we were opposites. Outings like this aside, I often spend my days off at home. When I was in elementary school, I found we would go out often, but lately that's been limited to dining out on Saturdays. So when I'm asked what I do when I stay at home, I usually just say, I do nothing. Doing homework and watching TV is stuff that seems pretty common to me. On the other end of the spectrum is Himeno, who goes out regularly. I often hear stories of when she went to karaoke on weeknights, or about how she travelled out of town on Sundays. She's a member of an active sports club, and often wants to hang out with them afterwards. Going out of town on the already limited days we have off tends to make me think, even though it's a day's to rest, I don't feel rested at all. In other words, something like this is a difference between Himeno and I. Without much common ground between us, what we became friends is... Suddenly the light fades from my vision. It wasn't just that it had become dark, but I had a sensation of being unable to breathe. What the fuck? But rather than sweating it, I get a little mad. Oh. She covered her eyes and nostril from behind, I'm guessing. Sorry. Hearing my wordless protest, Himeno pulled her hands away. I get playing the who am I game while covering someone's eyes, but covering up someone's mouth too was so much like Himeno. When I puff out my cheeks and object, Himeno just smiles at me. Because you were staring into space, Mayu. Ugh. Instead of apologising, Himeno blew on the nape of my neck. Without thinking, I made a weird sound. Embarrassed, I looked around 2 or 3 times, but the pedestrians walking by seemed unperturbed and didn't even look our way. The culprit who'd surprised me moves in front of me before I realise it. You're mean, Himeno. But I got to hear something good. No, you didn't. Moreover, you're... As I say that, I check the time on my smartphone. It's 3 minutes to noon, our agreed upon meeting time. It's not time yet. How rare. That's rude, jeez. I'll make you make a weird noise again. Saying that, Himeno opens and closes her fingers in a small, swift grasping motions. At times like this, I know I had better change the subject, or get messed with by Himeno again. Oh, by the way, did you buy a new one? You mean my necktie? Yes, I did. I thought I should get one to match my shorts. You and I haven't hung out since around midterms, Mayu. If I buy something today, I'd be really out of money. What about the aquarium? You're still set on finding out about the urban legends then? Of course! That's my #1 goal. But as usual, I can't count the things I want to do on just one hand. Okay, I get it. As long as I eat cookies and cream, that is absolute. I haven't forgotten. Anyway, Mayu, aren't your sandals new? Himeno says as she looked at my feet, talking about 3 times as fast as she does in class. Yeah, nice, aren't they? They're super cute. How cool. I want a pair too. No, we'll be too similar, and these are the only pair of sandals I have for the summer. Talking like this, it puts me at ease. Unlike myself, who is childish, Himeno knows a lot about fashion and trends. Even here in Manten, it seems like she blends in. Most importantly, by being with Himeno and constantly chatting, I no longer feel lonely. Oh yeah, Himeno, why did you bring such a huge bag? I'm glad you asked. With a hee-hee, Himeno opens the bottom bag she lets sink down from her shoulder. A variety of things came out, such as a flashlight, insect repellent, a simple blanket, a first aid kit, matches and snacks like chocolate and cookies. What is all this, Himeno? What do you plan on doing? Ignoring the twitch developing in my face, Himeno thumps her chest. To the aquarium, but since we're investigating urban legends, we should at least have some supplies. Rather than an investigation, the equipment she has reminds me of more going camping in the mountains. The snacks and blanket aside, where in the city would we need insect repellent or a flashlight? I keep those feelings to myself and just smiled. I let a breath that is half exasperated, half bemused. I don't get sick of being with Himeno. Whether Himeno is aware of my exasperated gaze or not, she starts to take something out, then quickly shoves it back in. She gives me a smile, implying some kind of secret. No, wait, it's too soon for you to see that. What were you gonna pull out? I'm not telling! Upon saying that, Himeno quickly closes the bag. The way I see it, it's a wonderful she fit all the supplies she had out just a moment ago. I wonder where it's all being stored. By the way, no club today? I asked with the underlying question of whether or not today is the day off for the club. At my question, Himeno averts her eyes. No, probably no club today. Really? Giving a brief answer, I start walking. Upon hearing a reply, I immediately understand it as, she skipped it again, but did not want to ruin the merry mood. I merely quicken my pace. I'm not into any clubs, but even I know it's not good to skip. Speaking honestly, I want her to show up for her club, as she seemed to be respected even by students from other schools. Coming here together like this makes me feel equally guilty though. Once I get thinking, I don't usually stop, so the conversation shifts to a ramen shop that catches my eye. Oh, Mayu, do you want to get lunch? You caught that? Feeling as if she'd seen right through me, we're heading to the nearby coffee shop. It is apparently famous following its coverage in a magazine for a sandwich that was overflowing with vegetables. I say apparently because when Excitedly finds the restaurant, Himeno shared this. Compared to a hamburger shop, the place is a bit intimidating and trendy to me, but since I'm with Himeno, it doesn't bother me. Shoving the roast chicken sandwich extra olives that I ordered into my mouth, the unease I have begin to feel disappears. In contrast to my fervor, Himeno eats her avocado and shrimp. I fucking hate, by the way, I know the kale meme that I had in a few videos ago was fucking, like, just memeing it up a bit, but I fucking hate kale, I fucking hate avocado. I'm not that hot on olives. Like, I'll eat olives, like, I guess, like, I'd rather have olives by themselves rather than mixed in with other things because they've got such an overpowering flavour they can ruin everything else. Like, I don't mind olives on cocktail sticks as like a little canapé, you know what I'm saying? But everything else, fuck that shit. And fucking avocado, it's one of the worst things ever. I actually worked with someone who was terrified of avocados once. Like, actually fucking scared. She used to say, I'm really shit scared of avocados all the time. And someone from my work brought an avocado in. She saw it from a distance, screamed, and ran out of the building. I'm not kidding. Isn't that so fucking strange? Isn't that so fucking strange? Anyway, enough anecdotes. Well then, about our plans for today. Himeno starts as soon as we have finished eating. We'll start with the aquarium. No matter what, that's the main thing. So we'll look into the old man's ghost and the closed-off deep-sea fish booth rumors. After that, we'll go to the shops and finally have some ice cream. I think it's better to get the cookies and cream first. If you eat 2 times, you'll mess up your stomach and get fat. You won't be wearing a bathing suit. Oh, Himeno, it's no fair for you to put it that way. It isn't fair. Himeno's in the exercise club, so she'll be fine. But for someone like me who doesn't exercise enough, it makes me stop and think. Having said I wanted to go to the pool, it's all the more important. Okay, then we'll stick with my plan. That was a delicious meal. Urged on by Himeno, I decided to leave the ice cream shop for another time. I thought that's where we were going. The Haagen-Dazs. And the Kodomos in that machine. Is that a condom machine? I have no fucking clue. Talking about city things together, we leave the station behind. As opposed to the station's excellent cooling system, the city streets have a peculiar humidity and heat to them that envelops our bodies. Beginning of July. Summer has only just begun. You can already tell it's going to be a tough one. We weave our way through the crowds until we are 10 minutes away from the station. I finally end up in front of a skyscraper. I just knocked my fucking drink over. The building is a symbol for the people of Mantan, a combined facility for commerce, or you might call a fashion building in reference to the businesses it contains. Can I have a quick drink? Recording VNs is incredibly hard on the voice, and I've recorded a lot of them this week. Mantan is a town known for a place people go for amusement. If you really want to have a good time, they have a movie theatre, arcades, and several shops, though you need to have money. Because of that, young men and women are more numerous than boys and girls. In this town of people older than us, Himeno scans the panels for each floor without fear, saying, the aquarium is... People are concentrated around the panels. A little help to Himeno and trying to take up as little space as possible, I leave the search to her and gaze up at the building. I look up and up, but the top of the building is so far I think my neck will snap. That's magnificent. The building was built not long after I was born. It had been finished before I could walk, but the first and only time I came here was in elementary school. The instant I think back on my first visit, my head begins to hurt. Oh shit. No, I have to try not to think about it. Those are things from long ago, things from the past, things that are done. I can do nothing about deal with the pain that feels as if something is pressing against the inside of my skull. I finally hear Himeno calling me in a loud voice. The elevator's this way, come on! I push away my headache and step through the automatic door. The information at the entrance and the placement of the crane game are exactly the same as that day, giving me a slightly bad feeling. What the fuck happened, and who the fuck was that? Oh shit, we have an opening. This is Animu. Let's go. Okay, with our main characters. Interesting. I like these sort of like anime style openings, by the way, to games. Makes them feel more authentic. Makes them feel more anime. Well, I think one of my favorite things about anime, especially when I was really into it, was like just the opening themes and stuff. I used to fucking love just listening to them on repeat. One of my favorite things. I think it's like just part of like being into that sort of stuff, I guess, though. From the elevator landing, we need to head to the top floor of the separate Manton East building. This place is fucking huge. The elevator is the type that has a glass window so you can see out. That is the only thing that's distracting me from my gloom. A crowd of people get on with us, but almost all of them are gone by the time we reach the floor that contains the aquarium. They probably stopped off at the apparel or sundry shops. It isn't that we aren't interested, but Jimeno recommends, it's crowded now, so let's come back when it's less busy. And that keeps us back, deciding to stick with the plans we made back at the coffee shop. We're going to die a lot in this, apparently. There's like loads and loads of horrific deaths and things, which is going to be interesting. I find it weird there's like a fucking aquarium in a high-rise building. Is that weird to most of you? It seems weird to me. Stepping onto our floor, the atmosphere immediately switches to a lively one. The sounds of chatter are drowned out by the roar of a large fan. The lighting is dim and tinted slightly blue. The windows are also covered, giving the feeling it's suddenly become night. As this is an aquarium, it makes sense the concept is based around the ocean. Yes, the pungent smell of salt is a major change. Amazing, it's like we've dived into the deep sea. That's what I thought too. Instead of being targeted at families lately, it seems more like a date spot for adults. Or at least that's what the magazine said. But it's true. Even though this is my second time coming here, it feels like my first time. Next to the entrance is the souvenir shop. Though it lacks the usual boisterous voices, it appears to be a place that can be reached both from the inside and outside. There doesn't seem to get many customers. Just as Jimeno had said, the aquarium seems to target adults. In an atmosphere like that, even Jimeno looks nervous. Hey, Mayu. What's up? I forgot to tell you one important thing. Jimeno makes a mysterious face and brings her mouth up to my ear. What, did you drop your wallet or something? No, that's not it. There's something I heard that's a bit of an urban legend. But they say the amount of people going missing is on the rise. There's a rumor that this month alone the number missing is well into double digits. Huh? We had this conversation in front of the metal rack that holds the map of the aquarium. Aside from the map, there is a guide to Manton East building and information about affiliated hotels. During that time, we hear the sound of the elevator opening and closing, but do not see the people going into the aquarium. Manton used to be a shopping district, right? That seems to be why, even if there are a lot of runaways, the media wouldn't pay much attention. But supposedly, many of the missing persons had stopped off at Manton Aquarium. That rumor, who did you hear it from? Who indeed? No one in particular. You know how rumors spread. At Jimeno's words, I feel a cold shiver along my spine. Regardless of how credible the rumor is, a sense of dread shoots through me. Considering my past, it's natural that I would feel connected to missing persons in my age range, especially if they are runaways. If that's the case, it would send chills along the back of my neck. Why on earth? You could have told me this before. Well, I thought if you heard about it, Mai, you may not have wanted to come. Oh, so, forgetting to tell me it was a lie then, you little... I had to intend to protest firmly, but it still ended rather anticlimactically. Ghosts may exist, and they still may be unable to come back, but that doesn't mean I'm interested in visiting places where they are. This is proof that Jimeno has her own strange interests, yet it still makes me feel even more worried. This rumor has a continuation. Specifically, people who saw the deep-sea fish booth never came home. Jimeno relays these two pieces of information that frighten me with a smile. The rumor itself aside, she wanted to pass over the question of why people were able to see the closed-off deep-sea fish booth in the first place, not wanting to discuss it at all. Wait a minute, Jimeno. Something else is tied in beneath the fear. Something about the aquarium and the missing persons who didn't come home. That was essentially... Jesus fucking Christ, that made me jump. You okay, Mayu? Sorry, I guess it scared you a bit much. I think the story's pretty exaggerated, so don't worry about it. I heard it's a fun aquarium. I think we should take those short stories with a grain of salt. Right? Though our kindness is misdirected, it's kindness just the same. Having involuntarily sat down, I take the hand Jimeno extends to me. As I slowly rise to my feet, I respond, yeah, you're right. Seems like a really bad idea. To think I would have heard of a connection to my precious memory in a place like this. It's strange. After 5 years, the memory should have faded. I tell myself this, then let out a small sigh. Jimeno is actually showing concern, so I sit down on the bench in the rest area next to the souvenir shop. Jimeno even brings me a can of cocoa. As I'm drinking it, she buys our tickets. With her doing all this, I have to go with her. Are you okay, miss? The fact I'm thinking thoughts like this canned cocoa is a little weak, is proof that I'm cooling down. I was starting to feel better, a male voice calls out to me. While holding my half-finished cocoa, I turn in the direction the voice came from. Rather than the boy's voice I expect, it belongs to an adult, so I respond timidly. I'm okay, so... No need to be so vigilant. He's wearing a grey knit cap and a brown running shirt. He's tall, even for a guy, so I look up to him. His build is almost all muscle, and my shoulders shudder a bit in surprise. What the fuck is this music? He appears well over the age of 20, so I can't think of a reason he would want to talk to us. Whether he realizes I'm looking up at him or not, he plunks down right next to me. Even after he sits down, we aren't sitting at the same height. Pretending to fix my posture, I move away from him a little. Oh shit, we're actually gonna have to start making decisions. 1 second, guys, I want to make sure everything's recording before we continue in the next half an hour of this. Everything looks good, so let's go. Are you not, feeling well? I'm fine, really. Let's be pleasant. Thanks to my nerves and my wariness, I end up speaking unnaturally fast. Moreover, if he really is a kind person, I might end up abusing his good intentions. How, cold? I figures. I say again without thinking, without my knowing what he's so happy about. The man's mouth loosens into a grin. You're pretty clever, I give up. But you know, I seriously am worried about you. Your face is pale and all. His kind words take me by surprise. I inadvertently avert my eyes. For some reason, I become strangely embarrassed and begin tapping my index finger on my can of cocoa. That aside, since you came to have fun, let me show you around. We're really just fine. The words come out so naturally they surprise even me. I've now become a complete idiot and my eyes meet his. I work part-time in this building, so I'm familiar with it. This area, that is. Hey, what are you doing? Jimeno. I gasp and look up. Jimeno is there carrying 2 tickets and some pamphlets. With her hands on her hips and her cheeks puffed out, Jimeno glares at the man with narrowed eyes. I think the only ones allowed to hit on junior high schoolers would be high schoolers? No, I'm not trying to hit on anyone. This girl just looks unwell, is all. Mayu, what happened? I mean, all these options here. Was he hitting on me? I mean, am I just oblivious? Like, I thought he was just being nice, but maybe that means he's a creeper. I don't know. Let's just say ... Not knowing how to respond, I stay silent. On seeing that I'm troubled, he turns to Jimeno, who has entered his field of vision. Upon doing so, Jimeno interjects with a hey. See, you can't trust someone who just says kind things. Are you speaking from personal experience? No. And what are you coming at me like that for, Mayu? Hey, mister, please don't make such a weird face. And mister? Jimeno mutters, facing the man's chest. On hearing us say mister and giving me a puzzled look, the man shows us the plastic name tag hanging from his neck. I must have forgotten to take this off. Jimeno, speaking of which, he did say he works part-time in this building. And then, is that his entry card or something? He slaps his knees and rises to his feet. He probably played some kind of sport or something because the movement as he stands looks so effortless. I'm Hiyoshi Kenji. I work part-time at the shop downstairs. With this entry card, I can get into Manson Aquarium at a discount. Is it a company employee discount? Something like that. I'm not exactly a company employee, but I got half off anyway. So, I come here often. Really, that's quite unexpected for you, mister. When you'll become older, you'll crave these soothing experiences as well. And I'm not old enough to be a mister. Now he says it. Compared to us, you're definitely old enough to be a mister. Yoshi-san grimaces angrily, then sniffs in a self-depreciating manner. He appears to be a little older than a college student, so calling him old enough to be mister is probably rude, but Jimeno only said the impression he gave was pretty close. With the aquarium as a shared point of interest, Himeno's attitude towards Hiyoshi-san softens. As proof, Jimeno talks with Hiyoshi-san about the shops in the building. I don't know a little about brands, so I sip my remaining cocoa and listen from the outside. My iced cocoa has become lukewarm cocoa. Well, mister, are you also well versed in urban legends? On hearing Jimeno's question, my head pops up in surprise. The corners of Hiyoshi-san's mouth lift into a grin. That's rather unexpected for you as well. So you're, interested in such things? Of course I am. You're only young once, so you have to satisfy your curiosity. We're looking into the closed-down deep-sea fish booth. There's a rumor that it's open on the day of the full moon. Do you know anything about it? Hiyoshi-san places his hand on his chin and looks down, grunting loudly. He glances at me, looks over at the entrance, then finally turns to Himeno and opens his mouth. I think you need to give up on that one thing. Naturally, since I'm a regular here, I often hear rumors like there are spirits floating in the tanks, or every time a person dies, the jellyfish tank increases by 1, and so on. Himeno-chan, story you mentioned shouldn't be anything more than one of those rumors, but stop dancing around it. Stop. It's fucking Himeno now. Stop dancing around it, just tell me. Previously, I knew someone who went looking into this, just as you girls were doing now. Himeno-chan, he went missing soon after. Missing? Without thinking about it, I joined the conversation. If someone has gone missing here at Mountain Aquarium, it holds significance for me as well. Is that for real? I glance back in surprise. Himeno is still looking at him with doubt in her eyes. Yoshi-san listens to what Himeno said, and with a playful smile responds, just kidding, it's a lie. I wonder if it is a lie. Because of the words he muttered, my curiosity has been piqued. I couldn't imagine the tense face he made as he told the story of an acquaintance who went missing being faked. That's right, but if that's the case, then this really might interest you, Mayu. I have thought from the beginning that it would be better just to give up. No way, I already bought the tickets anyway. Himeno's face shows she's enjoying herself to the end, and she takes my arm to gently pull me closer to her. This was a signal that she was ready to go, and in my mind, I prayed that nothing would happen. Well then, wanna walk around with me? Hiyoshi-san calls out to Himeno, who has said later, but it's me rather than Himeno who hears him and spins round first. So I make eye contact with Hiyoshi-san and say, I feel safety in numbers is probably better. You know? That's fine. Oh, surprised on how quick you got into a good mood. Hiyoshi-san snaps his fingers and rushes to our side. Out! Out! As she says this, Himeno steps in front of me and makes a big X mark with both hands. Mayu, don't be tricked by an old guy like him. He uses kind words to get close to you, but he's thinking weird things inside his mind. Himeno-chan, not it at all. What do you mean by weird things, Himeno? Well, Hiyoshi-san narrows his eyes and grins widely. He glosses over my question and asks, what, Himeno-chan? For some reason, Himeno's face goes red and she grabs me tightly by the wrist. Sexual harassment! Definitely sexual harassment, mister! Without giving Hiyoshi-san a second look, Himeno drags me to the gate. Hiyoshi-san smiles and shrugs his shoulders. The aquarium entrance is so dark that we can't see in front of us until we are inside. I can feel the cold air on my skin. I get a sensation of something heavy, causing me to rub my arm. Naturally, there is no mark indicating something has touched me, and calling back by Himeno's, hey, let's go, I pass my ticket through the machine. Quite a big build-up, but this is normal for a visual novel, like a big introduction. Figures the whole time if you come on a day of full moon, all the water will change into blood thing is a lie. The water's normal. Of course it is, jeez. Right away, Himeno says so regretfully. Even so, she's unable to hold back her excitement at having come to the aquarium and her steps are fittingly light. As we come out the gate, there are several small tanks nearby. Mountain's aquarium's first and most celebrated exhibit is the one displaying fish native to Tokyo Bay. There are 4 tanks in this corner from left to right, each one showing the environment to the river flowing into Tokyo Bay, brackish waters, shoals, and open water come one right after the other. Himeno giggles at rocketfish, porgy, and other fish we recognise from the supermarket are also there. This booth also showcases environmental problems in order to prompt consciousness of the issue, causing a tightening in my chest. Water pollution is a serious problem. Tomorrow, I think I'll try asking Mum to use a little less detergent. Suddenly it got like this. Himeno's reaction is the polar opposite of mine. Even as I'm reading the panels, she's uninterested in the display. Just like that, I read every last panel. Himeno has long since stopped watching me, crossing her arms and puffing out her cheeks. Thanks for waiting, Himeno. Geez, you're too serious, Mayu. If you act like this the whole time, the day will be over. They'll close. It'll be fine. This area isn't that big, and it's not like I'm going to read everything. As soon as she hears what I said, an expression of dissatisfaction appears on Himeno's face. Well, let's head to the next area. Next is the tunnel tank. There might be ghosts, so maybe they'll be with the human-like fish? Jeez, come on already. I'm guessing all these rumors are true about this aquarium, otherwise we wouldn't have much of a horror game to go with, you know? Even saying something like that, upon entering the aquarium I had begun to enjoy myself. I Upon cheerfully calling out to Himeno, my previous unease has disappeared, leaving me ready to move forward with a light step. I love these, by the way, in aquariums. Like, it's really awesome, like when you have like the tank above you and even below you I've seen before as well. Amazing. Really amazing. And pretty. With no door to partition this booth and the next, passing beside this tank took us to the next one, where larger breeds of fish swim about. And we teleport. This is no ordinary tank, but rather a giant tube-like tunnel with the left and right sides connected above our heads in an arc. As we walk through the tunnel, we're able to watch the fish moving about in 3 dimensions. We bring our faces as close as we can to the glass, giving the illusion that we're in the ocean. Just watching the mantas, the rays, the various types of sharks, and the sea turtles can be intoxicating for us humans. When I was a child, I thought the ceiling might crack, but now I passed that feeling up, leaving only the throbbing of my heart. The water was a giant bundle of blue, various colours within it, shooting every which way. Being able to see how big they are up close, separated by mere centimetres of glass, is so impressive, gives me the greatest realisation of our shared existence. Here, Himeno's pace slows and she takes her steps one by one. Hey Mayo, look at these huge fangs! Himeno, that fish is cute too. The stingray's face is creepy. Really? I think it's cute. I fucking love stingrays. Like, just rays in general. They're fucking adorable. I know they kill people and shit, stingrays, but fuck me, rays are so adorable. It's a matter, it's huge. That little one over there looks yummy. Excuse me? Talking as the words come to us, our conversation seems out of sync. Our feelings of being touched, however, are the same, and Himeno's enjoyment is obvious. Being surrounded by the water and the fish as we are, we feel though we're freed from any sense of time. Hey Mayu, doesn't this ray's face look human? They do look human. Maybe so. It does! The mystery of the human face fish is solved. Naturally, well if you're okay with it, then so am I. Thus we learn the true nature of one of the urban legends. I was fine either way, but for Himeno this way is probably the best. Though from Himeno's enthusiastic stance, even as she watches the fish, she probably realises just how implausible it all is. Rather than get tired of it though, I'm having fun. We move leisurely through the tunnel, coming to stop at the centre. Up to this point, only the big things have caught our eyes, but on closer inspection of the tank, there's also sand piled up to our knees, with shrimp, shellfish, small fish, and other such creatures dwelling there. Compared to the manta rays, the small shrimp, which can't even be considered child-size, seems to be cute and innocent as they swim about, breaking through the sand. Hey, look, Himeno. It's tiny! As expected, Himeno has followed the human face ray, and on seeing my fingertips, Spike speaks in a playful tone. Upon sensing the tremors from Himeno poking the glass, the ray kicks at the sand and flees deeper into the tank. Man, it's gone now. As I say this to Himeno, I smile at a small shrimp. Himeno does the same, smiling widely. Before long, the two of us are looking up at the ceiling, toying with the question of just how high it is. Even looking up, we can only see the fish swimming, never the ceiling itself. Looking up from the bottom of the sea, one would normally see the rays of sun piercing the water, but looking up here was the opposite, with the bottom of the sea seeming to continue forever. It could have been the reflection of the light, the ceiling really might have been too high, so I realise I can't be sure. My eyes settle on a small but uncharacteristically long-nosed shark, swimming past. Sharks. Sharks? That's a ray, isn't it? You just saw it from behind earlier? As soon as I mutter that, Himeno responds. It's true that although I'm interested in this type, Himeno is fixated on the human-faced ray. What the fuck is going on now? Huh? What's up? Himeno asks, but I falter. The conversation gives me a sense of what you might call déjà vu. How strange. I felt as if I've had this conversation before. At that moment, my vision is dyed ultramarine. What the fuck is going on? Oh shit. Who the fuck is that? Huh? It was no longer Himeno in front of me, but someone else that had caught my attention. This can't be real. Hey Mayu! The ultramarine colour unchanged. Within it, a face like mine passes before me. A face like mine from 5 years ago. Wearing an ultramarine overcoat that merges with the colour of my vision, the girl turns to me and seems to be giving me a gentle smile. Mayu, wait! Mary? Oh, fuck. Without hearing Himeno calling me back, I start running. We haven't finished looking at everything in the tube tunnel tank, but there's something more important right in front of me. Long hair that looks almost transparent, a thick blue coat, cute boots with fur on them. There was no way I could forget that outfit. That's because it was my outfit my little sister, Nakanobi Marie, wore when she went missing here 5 years ago. Oh shit. The girl quickens her pace as if playing with me, and disappears out the other side of the tunnel. There are hardly any people there, but I lose sight of her between the shadows of the tank and the corner. Mary. How? Why? Hey Mayu, wait! Breathing heavily, Himeko chases after me. I say sorry and break away from her, searching for the vision of Mari. As I come out the tunnel, I survey the area, spotting a winter skirt nearby. I chase after that swaying form. Behind me, I can hear the intensity of Himeno's rushing steps and quicken my pace. Yeah! Having fallen into a trance, I realise what's going on when I slam into someone and fall on my backside. So we have another new character here. Unfamiliar girl. We need to give her a voice. The girl clicks her tongue as she picks up what she dropped. As I start to say excuse me to her, she's already moving past me and running off somewhere. I guess we don't right now. Because of that brief incident, I'm able to find my way out of my confusion. Anyway, Mari. I feel bad about the person I'd run into, causing me to feel flustered. In that exchange, I lost sight of both the long hair and that long skirt. But you were going this way, right? I'm not sure myself where I'm running to, but I think you can say I'm definitely running with all my heart. I pass between more tanks than I can remember, but I don't pay them one bit of attention. I just continue following Mari's back, running. Mari's just as bashful as she was the day she disappeared. Mayu, get a hold of yourself! Those few words end my chase. To be more accurate, it was ended by Himeno herself, who grabbed my wrist. Huh? You suddenly took off and wouldn't turn around no matter how many times I called you. Even when you dropped something, you had no idea. What happened all of a sudden? Wait, Himeno, if I can go after Mari, I'll explain everything, so... Hold it! I look back at Himeno upon hearing her extremely hurt voice. I see tears forming in Himeno's eyes, and I turn my whole body to face her. I stand in silence like this for several seconds. If I tell Himeno about Mari, I'm sure she will regret bringing me to Mountain Aquarium. When she followed me, she had to have seen Mari. It's natural she would have some misgivings about me chasing some total stranger since she doesn't know Mari. Even so, I'm not sure what to say. If I apologise now and play dumb, we can probably go back to playfully searching the aquarium for information. But that's not something I can do. It isn't the similarities that are the problem. Mari is here, and just as she'd been on that day, there is no way I can go home without taking her with me. Mayu, tell me what's going on. Who is Mari? Why'd you keep running off without saying anything? Tears are pouring out of Himeno's eyes. I can't understand why. She's so sad, but still my little sister. My little sister, she was here. Little sister? See, the girl I was chasing, she's my little sister. Mari disappeared 5 years ago, at this aquarium. Looking at Himeno's tear-stained face, I no longer feel like hiding anything. Perhaps in the depths of my consciousness, I'm hoping Himeno will become satisfied and say she wants to look for Mari with me. I'll explain in more detail later. On top of that, when I look back one more, Himeno squeezes my hand and holds me back. This is the gentlest but the strongest she's held my hand. Himeno stares into my eyes and tilts her head to the side. What do you mean you were chasing someone? I told you, the little girl that was in front of me, wearing the ultramarine coat and boots, remember? That was Marie, exactly how she looked long ago. Mayu, snap out of it! Himeno shouts. It's simply a loud voice, but one weighed down with great sadness. It definitely gets through to me, but that doesn't mean it will stop me. Because without a doubt, I was right. Mari had been right before my eyes, so I had to chase. Let's just say that even if this Mari girl is here, she would have grown in 5 years, and her clothes wouldn't be the same. It's summer, so she wouldn't be wearing a coat. Moreover, she was here. I saw her. No, Mayu, no. You weren't chasing anyone. You just took off running, leaving me behind, okay? Could you just calm down for a bit? Our tickets will get us back in, so how about come Coco in the rest area? I think you're tired, since you were shaking earlier. Himeno seems pretty frantic, so I know she isn't lying just to persuade me. But there's no way that seeing Mari here, there was a lie. That's why I start to speak without really knowing what I want to say. Himeno. Mayu, okay? Wiping away her tears, Himeno smiles at me. Surely has plenty of strong feelings about the whole thing. I'm sure she has loads to say about me keeping the Mary thing and my reason for resisting visiting Mountain Aquarium quiet. Even so, it seems as though Himeno has accepted me. She just smiles and lets it go. That's probably right. Surely if we're by the entrance, we'll know if Mary comes out. Mayu, that's good. That's right. You're fucking crazy. That's more like you. Let's go have some cocoa and you can tell me everything. As she smiles, Himeno once again takes my hand into her soft palm. Oh, that's right, you dropped this. You gotta be more careful. With the hand that isn't holding my own, she hands me something small. Oh, shit. It's a keychain. The blue droplet shape is inlaid with stardust and also holds a starfish charm. It isn't exactly rare, being a giveaway item. But why did Himeno have it? The only questions arise in my mind. Why, when that keychain was... On thinking about it, I instinctively shake off Himeno's hand. Hey, what are you doing after I picked it up for you and all? Himeno's voice is like an arrow piercing through me. The pain in my chest is nothing more than discomfort. What is Himeno saying? This isn't mine. I can't possibly have dropped it. I know I can't look at Himeno's face. Liar. Huh? Liar? That's not mine. It isn't something I dropped. It was Mary's. Mary dropped it. It can't be, I'm not lying. Really, there was no Mary chance, so she couldn't have dropped the keychain. Himeno was becoming gruff as she continued. Really, isn't it you who's lying? No one else is here. That's enough, Himeno, you dummy. Dummy? What the fuck? Saying only that, I turn my back on Himeno. When I glance back, Himeno's shocked expression is getting further away. She was there. Mari had definitely been there. Because the keychain Himeno had, it belonged to Mari. There was no way I could forget. It was just before Mari went missing. For the two of you, just this once. Upon saying that, Mum handed us each 100 yen coins. That day was a cold winter day at the Mountain Aquarium souvenir area. The smell of construction lingered faintly in the air. There were manta and penguin stuffed animals, stationery with the logo on it, and various souvenirs. At the entrance to that souvenir stand, there were gacha machines containing keychains. I don't remember all the various types, but star sand was packed into plastic drops, and charms were all modelled after fish at the aquarium. It was fairly typical for gacha, but at the time it seemed very enticing to me. It was the same for Mari, and we gazed into the gacha machine. Mari is the one who usually begged our parents at this point, but neither of us had brought a souvenir, and both of us said we wanted the keychains. Since Mum couldn't be completely broken, she emphasised the one time only bit, sorry. Yay! Mari held out both hands with glee while I probably just smiled. I remember that inside. I was just as happy. As to which of us went first, it was of course the more assertive Mari. She was always like this. A cheerful and inquisitive child. How cute, Mr. Star! Mari got a starfish key charm. At this point, Mari still didn't know the difference between a starfish and a star. I was next to get one. It was a pink drop with a jellyfish charm. Ah, jellyfish. That's the one I wanted most! Mari pointed the index finger of her tiny hand, exclaiming in a loud voice. Mari was just learning how to use first person when she mentioned herself. Instead of a normal I or me, she said it slowly. Hey, big sister, trade me! No way, I want this one. Naturally, as I'd already fallen in love with the design, I obstinately turned her down. Upon begging my mother for one more time, my mother, who had warned us earlier, held her purse strings tight, leaving Mari to sulk. Fine, stupid big sister! Without listening to my mother's admonishment, she ran off. Sulking after being called stupid, I naturally didn't chase her right away. My mother, being optimistic about the aquarium's small size, also waited a while to go looking for Marie. Bet she regrets that. And now I'm all left with my regrets. If only I'd gone after her sooner. If only I traded her keychains in the first place. Even so, the past is unchanging, and I'm left with only my regrets to bear. So in case I could ever trade with Mari again, I've suddenly carried around that keychain. The only one with pink droplet shape and jellyfish charm. Like a treasure. I rummaged through my bag, seeking to feel the keychain in my hand. Huh. Why at a time like this had I forgotten to bring it? The keychain wasn't in my bag, nor in my pockets. Huh. A sigh naturally slipped out my body. After all, I'd lost sight of Mari, and strayed from Himeno. Himeno has the building map, so there's nothing I can do. Huh. At that moment, a pungent aroma floats by and causes me to speak in surprise. Unable to bear the irritating stench, I pinch my nose. So the scent seems to twist my nose. It's made of the smell of sewage, sulphur, and nauseating stink of vinegar. As soon as I try and get away from the smell, something soft creeps along the bottom of my foot. As I hesitantly look down, I realise the true identity of the putrid odour. It's a corpse. I'm not sure what type, but it's as big as my arm span. The body is slowly decaying and hasn't retained its original form, yet by its bulging round eyes and slightly extended tail fin, I can just barely tell it was a fish. I couldn't tell right away, but its silhouette similar to a piraruchu. I feel like I've seen these eerie glowing eyes characteristic of a freshwater fish. I feel sick. I move my foot slowly and a small fragrance of the corpse sticks to the bottom of my shoe, on the underside of which I notice something wriggling desperately. The slight sound of flapping wings departs from beside my ear, and I understand the wriggling thing is an insect. Ugh. Shaking, chills run down my spine as if someone had pressed ice to me. I take a step back and drop my cell phone. The phone reacts with a backlight and LCD screen coming on, illuminating the dead body. The syrupy dead body absorbing the light and the winged insect that flees to avoid it. There's also a meandering white nematode that seems to not notice. What the fuck is that? What's a nematode? The backlight soon disappears, leaving it stench amidst the darkness. The shadows of those hideous insects are scorched into my retinas, and they sway like the light of heat haze in the darkness. Something was creeping up from the pit of my stomach. I guess I'll endure it? I immediately shut my mouth, enduring what had come up. The intermingled acidic taste of the vomit that had come up and the scent of stomach acid lingering in my nostrils mixed with saliva caused my eyes to water in pain. Why was it so painful? I can't figure out the answer to my doubts, not at all. I cover my eyes with both hands. I couldn't have made it if I didn't. But shutting out my vision leaves my sense of smell, causing the smell of rotten water and stench of dead body to become more intense, so I uncover my eyes. What is this? This is a place for customers. Is it really alright for this to be here? On top of that, I was in the middle of chasing Marie, wasn't I? No, that isn't the problem. It's strange enough there's a place like this in the middle of an aquarium. Anyway, I have to get out of here. The stench is so overpowering, it's as if I can see it. I want to get out of here quickly, satisfying myself with the argument this will be a garbage dump or something, and if I only get away, I'll be fine. Anyway, I can go back the way I came. No, that's no good. I might run into Jimeno. At this moment, I don't want to see her face. My eyes have adjusted a bit to the darkness. I search for a way out. Here the tanks are broken, the little remaining water stinking and the bodies of living things are tumbled out here and there. Think about how happy I am that I can't see. Even so, to find an exit, I'll have to look around. My nose has begun to go numb, and thanks to that, I'm somehow able to retain my sanity. Before long, I find a dim emergency light behind one of the tanks and head towards it, as if it was the last hope I could cling to. I feel squishing several times beneath my feet, but I try to ignore it and move on. As I move towards the emergency light, it seems the smell is becoming faint. Huh. I get used to the shattered scarves of glass and the rotten fish corpses just before I reach the door. The tip of my shoe feels as if it's kicked something hard, something different from before. Wondering what I kicked, I casually look down. No. No! I get the sensation that all the blood has stopped flowing through me and my heart has stopped completely. The round thing I kicked has patches of hair, 2 eyes, a nose with a bone in it, and the mouth. Altogether, it is... a human face. Speaking accurately, it's a head rather than a face. It's completely lifeless and rolls away with a flopping sound. When my foot touches it, seeing the state the head is in, I begin to feel ill again, despite having finally calmed down from before. Of the white cranium, only the forehead area seems to be exposed. It seems this is new and has only just begun to decay. No, for starters, there's no way a human head should be rolling around here. It's my imagination or it has to be from some model. I haven't yet looked in the direction it was rolling. Convincing myself this isn't a human head, it really is different, so there's no satisfying myself. I place my hands on the door and attempt to escape. Unable to control my shaking hands, it takes 3 tries before I can open the door. It's a heavy fire door that is usually open. I think you're kind of blocking out what really happened there. This is... I step inside with my thoughts racing and the atmosphere changes completely once more. I can hear the sound of the door closing behind me. Inside is a very clean place. The transparent water is tinted faint blue and inside float fantasy-like jellyfish. Countless pillar-shaped tanks are spread around and the water shimmers as it reflects the light of the fluorescent lamp. Red, yellow, green and purple. The jellyfish's bodies diffusing light like a prism. In spite of the strange space I've reached, I'm fascinated by the shimmering live art displayed. Himeno, I mutter without thinking. Then I quickly shake my head, erasing the image of Himeno's face that appears in my mind. Earlier, she didn't come after me. After all, Himeno chose on her own to part ways from me. I'm sure it's because she dislikes me now. It isn't something I should worry about. Even at a quick glance, I can see there are various types of jellyfish in the tank, having made efficient use of the small space. It's a charming area. It vividly expresses the starry sky, as is fitting of the name Mountain Aquarium. She's really dismissed her friend really easily here, like, almost like, trivially, which is really fucking weird. She's like, she must hate me because I ran off. It just feels like a bit of like an acid trip at this point. Like, it feels like a really unrealistic thing to... I understand she's desperate to see her sister, but she freaks out with her friend too much, and her friend freaks out too much too. Wasn't she just like, hey, it's okay, you said you saw your sister, I understand, let's look for her together. Like, why wasn't that a conversation? I don't get it. Compared to the earlier Fish of the World booth, this one isn't the least bit in decay. Alright, so if the text on screen is red, that means one of these decisions leads to death. So, we've got going back is dangerous. I can't do anything by stopping here. I have to press on. I feel worried about Himeno all of a sudden. I'll go back. I'm going to go back because I'm going to gamble and say that's probably the death. So let's pick the death and we'll see what the death is to wrap the video up. I feel worried about Himeno all of a sudden. I'll go back. Upon thinking whether or not it's the right for just me to enjoy something so pretty, I reach for the door behind me. Even though we fought, Himeno and I are friends. Sharing such a lovely memory will surely help us make up quickly. I step forward, and it's at that moment. Huh? When they open the door and step through, there is no Fish of the World booth. Before I could even rationalise the scene before me, I'm pulled in by some sort of swell. Trying to figure out what's wrong, I realise I'm having trouble getting air. I really want air, so I pause for breath. My mouth fills with a fishy stench. Brine. Seawater. I know from the salty taste that I've swallowed seawater. The reason I can't breathe is because all around me is ocean water. I understand I'm in the ocean, devoid of light. No light, no sound, in the darkness. Wondering why I move my limbs. At this rate I'll drown. Hasn't been more than a minute since I got pulled under the sea. How many seconds have passed at this point? No, that isn't it. I have to get above water. However, up to this point, there's been no light overhead, and I'm forced into an inevitable battle with my despair. I frantically endure my suffocation, swimming higher and higher. Suddenly being thrown into water hasn't thrown off my sense of up or down, so the desire to live serves as an instinct to guide me upwards. I still can't see, but I'm right. Just like that, I seem to have answered my own question. I can feel the clothes I'm wearing becoming heavy. However, if I have time to shed my clothes, then I have time to continue upward. My thinking is dead alone. I've heard there's high pressure in the deep part of the ocean that crushes any living thing, but my body is completely fine. That means I'm at the moment shouldn't be that deep. If I swim hard enough, I should make it. I have to hit the surface and take a deep breath. How many seconds have passed at this point? I have no sense of time whatsoever in this darkness. Even so, I know that some time has passed since I was thrown into the ocean. A minute probably passed a while ago. Here my consciousness has begun to fade. Immediately after I see the darkness of death, a small light illuminates the tip of my nose. Because I've been swimming so frantically, I haven't noticed, but it seems as though I've gone up quite a ways. We'll all be alright. The surface is close. I reach out my hand. I reach out towards the light. That's all that I can do. It's because my legs won't move. No matter how frantically I try and move them, my legs won't even quiver. It feels as if something has ensnared them. It has the elasticity of a bottomless trampoline. From the tips of my toes to my rear end, the soft sensation wraps tightly around me. I want to think this is a lie. No, I've actually decided I will not believe it. That a giant octopus has wrapped itself around my legs. Its gum-like suckers are the size of the palm of my hand. I can't even imagine how large its entire body is. The light is getting farther away. My eyes are already closed for some reason. Himeno's smiling face floats before me, though it should be her angry face that I see last. Just like that, I'm in darkness. As much as it's tightened up, my legs have lost all feeling. wonder. My legs are no longer what they once were. With the depletion of my oxygen supply, my brain's already changed into a machine for merely processing my situation. Within the darkness, it dispassionately communicates my non-existence to my 4 limbs, which have lost all sensation. It won't be long before the only thing I can sense is the darkness. That's because I've already become part of that darkness. Into the silent abyss. And that is one of the bad endings, of which there are many. That's a unusual image to suddenly have there. Alright. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll continue from the previous choice in the next episode if you guys want to see some more. If you enjoyed, like, comment, consider supporting on Game West. It allows me to keep doing this as a full-time job, and I really do appreciate all the love on there. I really do. And I guess I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much for watching Sound of Drop Fall into Poison Episode 1. And hope you guys have a great day. Bye for now. See you later. Have a great fucking time, alright?